Happy New Year, 2020 is here, and the first new movie I got to see was The Grudge. So before we get started with this review, realize that I am still fighting this cold. It is kind of getting on my nerves. I got a clogged up ear. But either way, I'm here to do this review. It's getting a little better. It's just taking forever. So moving on to talk about this movie, The Grudge. It's directed by Nicolas Pesce, and it's about a house that is cursed by a vengeful ghost that pretty much dooms anyone who enters it to death. The Japanese, in a way, have kind of mastered the suspenseful horror films in a way. Something that in America we get right some of the times, but we still struggle with majority of the time. So with this Grudge movie, since it was kind of based off the Japanese character, I was curious to see, hey, we're remaking it in America again. Can we get it right? Will we go the jump scare route, or will we go the suspense route, or is Nicolas Pesce going to try to combine the two? So I realized early on in the movie that Nicolas Pesce wasn't going to throw in many jump scares, that he was going to go more the traditional suspense route, which is good. That is what I wanted. The problem is, while there was no jump scares, it wasn't suspenseful either. So the fact he decided to go the suspense route and it still ended up not being suspenseful kind of doesn't make this a very good movie. With this remake of The Grudge, the acting in this movie was probably the strong point. All the actors and actresses did a really good job with the script they were giving, with the story they were given, and not once was I like, oh, that person was a bad actor. I was really impressed with the acting in this film. But as for the rest of the film, there wasn't too much I was impressed with. I kind of understood what Nicolas Pesce wanted to do with this movie. It was there. The basics of it was there. None of it was executed, though. There is a lot going on in this film. There's multiple storylines that are all trying to merge into one. You go from the present to the past to kind of a different past with a few different families, trying to merge them together. And I see what he wants to do. We merge them together. They finally get merged together, and it still feels like nothing. I didn't feel many emotions during this movie, and with it being a horror film, I kind of want to be on the edge of my seat, or at least a little scared at times, and I never felt that. There was a lot going on in this movie. This movie was only about an hour and a half long, so with so much going on in it, I was like, okay, maybe they're stuffing so much because this ending is going to be wild. It'll be crazy. It's going to keep me on the edge of my seat. And when the ending kind of happened, it said it was like the end, directed by Nicolas Pesce, and I was like, is that it? I kind of thought there might be something after the credits, like 20 more minutes of the movie. This movie might have worked better as two separate films, especially with the build-up, ending it with the first and then finally finishing it with the second. Would have probably been better, but instead they decided to go with like stuffing it all in, and it didn't work out. One of my favorite parts about horror movies is the score. There have been some epic scores in horror films in the past, with movies like Halloween, and most recently, Us. But with this film, the score was so unmemorable. I actually don't remember anything about the score, and I just left the movie about 2 hours ago. Which is really disappointing to me, because I love hearing that creepy score going on as you're on the edge of your seat, waiting to see what's going to happen next. And with this one, maybe it's because I couldn't get into the movie. Maybe it's because I was thinking there should have been more done. With a film like The Grudge, I think you can put these creepy, suspenseful scores in the movie that stand out and stand the test of time. This one, this score will not stand the test of the time. It doesn't even stand the test of today. And it's not just the score that's unmemorable. There's pretty much the entire movie's unmemorable. Leaving the movie, I don't remember any scene that stood out to me, any scene where I was like, you know what, that's a pretty good scene. Like I said, the actors and actresses did a good job, but that was about it. The cinematography was just pretty average. The story was there, but they just didn't execute it. There have been so many remakes of the original Ju-on from Japan, The Grudge, and no one's been able to recapture the magic yet. I went to the bathroom after watching The Grudge, and there were these two guys in there talking, and the guy said, maybe we should just leave The Grudge to the Japanese. And I'm starting to agree with that. We have yet to capture that magic here in America that the original Grudge movie had in Japan, and I'm starting to think we're just not gonna. If for some reason the studio in America decides to remake The Grudge, maybe we give it to somebody like Del Toro or James Wan, somebody that's a proven horror director that I think could possibly give us a good Grudge movie. And that's pretty much it. My final verdict for this movie is going to be that The Grudge is a movie where I know where Nicolas Pesce wanted to take it. It just didn't work out. It's an overstuffed plot with pretty good acting and no payoff at the end. I never felt on the edge of my seat. I never felt engaged in this movie. I give The Grudge a 3 out of 10. I wanted there to be that defining moment where I'm like, that's what we were waiting for, and it just never came. Thank you guys for watching this review. As always, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell button, like this video, and have a great morning, day, or night wherever in the world you are at whatever time you're watching this. Bye-bye.